Here we go. Jim Eggers. I pronounced your last name right.
Yes, that's correct.
And you are a former senior art director
Yes,
for Noble and Associates.
correct. Yes. I've been there about 38 years
It's a long time.
and was in the last layoff.
Former art director.
Former senior art director.
I think this is going to be a neat opportunity because to understand how a large advertising firm operates, how they started from humble beginnings to being a national company that they are, and then also understanding the corporate environment and what it's like inside of an agency. I guess my first question is, what type of agency was Noble? I mean, so many of us locally have heard about them as being the big dogs in town.
Yeah, we, as you said, they started out with humble beginnings. Bob Noble bought a small studio back in the 70s and moved down here, and it was, as he said, a lot of blue sky. He got a couple of drawing boards out of it and about 3 or 4 clients, and they were small clients.
Wow.
And he started pursuing a studio will service an ad agency. So he started pursuing the ad agencies in town. And the ad agencies didn't have enough work for him. So he pretty much started becoming an ad agency himself. So it's because the ad agencies were kind of doing a lot of their own studio work too.
Mm-hmm.
The more you can do in-house, the more profitable.
Sure.
So it was the same deal, only from a different direction. He went from the studio to developing an ad agency, and a lot of studios will do that.
And a studio would be what exactly?
A studio would be the creative portion of it, whether it be graphics or whether it be radio voice or whether it be a production house for TV or anything, or a company that puts together web pages. That's studio. They all service the agency, or they can all service direct to the client.
Did he have a background in studio work?
Yes, he was an art director.
Okay.
In St. Louis. He was with Merritt's for a few years, and then he went to an agency for about a year.
Okay.
And it's funny, a coincidence, the agency that he went to was an agency that was one that my father had started back in 1949.
Fascinating.
I guess it hung on for a long time, BHN.
So you came into art and creative quite naturally. And if I understand right, you were the first full-time employee for Noble.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And was this something you knew, being creative in art and all that was something you knew you wanted to do from an early age?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, graphics was my background. I cut my teeth in Chicago for about 6 years in retail, and that was fast and furious and long and hard.
And this is the days before computers and
yes,
Photoshop and Adobe.
It was a drawing board.
And I remember watching a graphics guy back in the, I think it was in the late 80s, and you would cut out pictures and paste them on paper for printers to be able to reproduce them. Is that the kind of thing that you were involved in, or was it actually pencil and paper and drawing pieces out?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of it, all of that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As an art director, the things that you do are basically direct the project.
Okay.
So you can do as much of it as you want to do or can do, or you can direct it. So an art director, a creative team is the art director and the writer,
Okay.
and they can both do either.
Really?
But usually the writer will come up with ideas in the text format, and the designer will come up with the graphics end of it. But they sit there and exchange ideas, and the writer can come up with a great visual concept, and the designer can come up with a great headline occasionally or whatever. But it's all a team, and then the art director though still takes it from that point. And once the writing and the design is figured out, then of course the writer can kind of step aside. Of course he's still involved, but the art director will at that point come up with a visual, and that's either with a pencil or on a monitor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the monitor's just another medium,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always as fast. But then the art director can buy the illustration, buy the photography, buy the web design, buy the printing.
Mm-hmm.
But usually then you have another, and this all depends on how big the company is,
Right.
as to how many departments you have. If you can have a production person, if you have a media specialist, then the art director can go to them and say, we're looking for this type of printing, this type of paper.
I got you. All the details
All the
involved in
details.
making it happen.
More special.